Right, hi folks. Today I thought we'd take a look at Reaktor, particularly the blocks, and the third-party packs from Toybox Audio. Today I'm going to be looking at the 4 Shakers pack, primarily focusing on the wavetable oscillator, which is fantastic. So much fun to be had with it. Great for some really interesting bass sounds, sound design, and yeah, let's just dive in. So once you've got the packs installed, I'm going to drag wavetable in here. So first you need to drag the oscillator in, and then we're going to need to add a VCA. So I'm going to use the Blocks bass ones, the bento ones. I just like the look of this one, and I like having them in 2 separate VCAs as opposed to a stereo one, just because it gives you more control with the routing and you've got more options with the levels and things like that. So that's those 2 in. Then we're going to need an ADSR. Again, this is from the bento box. So we're going to have to take our gate from the note in. So I'm just going to colour that just so it makes it a bit easier to see as we get further on into it. And then out of the out into here, out of the ADSR into both modulation A's on the VCA. And we're going to click the A there and drag that all the way up. You need to make sure your level's all the way down. Same on the other one. Right, so that can be left and that can be right. And then if we take the outs on here into the level, I've already patched in the level into the out and also into the scope there, so we can sort of see what the waveform's doing. The pitch into the pitch on the wavetable. I'll call that slightly different. I'm just going to change some of the colours on here. Right, so there we go. So now we should be getting a sound. So I mean, you could use that as is, and I'm sure that would be useful, but there's not much fun there. What we want to do is get some modulation in there, make it a bit more interesting. So I'm just going to unhook these for now, and I'm going to pop a filter in there. So again, from the 4 Shakers pack, there's the multi-mode filter, and that is stereo. I'm just going to put that after that. I'll put that there, just rearrange them slightly. So left and right into the filter, and I'm also going to put a multi-band compressor in there. So where are we? Again, stereo. So the filter is going to go into the compressor. You can experiment with sort of different orders of these as well. It does make a big difference. And then I'm also just going to put a limiter on. This is from the free pack from Toybox Audio, which is another really good value. Pack, seeing as it's free. There we go. So let's have a listen. So now we can play around with the filter. You can also patch the pitch into the filter as well, just so it knows distortion on this is actually really nice as well. Really break the signal. So you've got different sort of like saturation, sine wave. So let's have a look. There's some presets in the multiband compressor. There's the OTT, which is one of my favourites. So that's getting quite interesting there. So what we now sort of want to do is get some sort of modulation of the wavetable. So how do we do that? We need another wavetable oscillator. So this is sort of identical. So I'm going to drag the pitch into the pitch. We don't need the envelope or VC on this one. It can just keep running. So we will patch that in to the FM of the first wavetable. And you turn the FM up. So that in itself is really interesting. You could automate that, you could sort of play around with that so you can be really accurate in your modulations. But I like to just add an LFO. So the one from the bento box again. This is the sort of standard sort of blocks that come with Reaktor. So again, I'm going to drag the gate out of there into the reset so it restarts the LFO. I can get that really slow. Drag the out into modulation A on the first wavetable. Click A as before. Drag that up. You don't have to go crazy with this. Or you can if you like, but I like to do things a bit subtly at first and then sort of see where I can get. And then go a bit more crazy later on down the line. So let's have a listen. Now a top tip here is your second sort of oscillator wants to be at least an octave above. But I like using 19 semitones, which is an octave and a fifth. So that gives you some really nice frequency modulation. So that's starting to get really interesting. You can play around with the LFO speed, so set it really fast. I like to use a nice slow one for frequency modulation. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to add another LFO. You could use the same one, but I like to have sort of different control over that. Again, the gate into the reset. And I want to drag that into the B of the first oscillator. And on this one, I'm going to use it to modulate the X position. So you can see that's moving through the wavetable there. So if we just play that. Which is pretty interesting. So I'm going to modulate that. So I'll just tweak that to taste. I'm also going to drag that into the B of the second oscillator. and I am going to modulate the Y position on this one. So that's a bit, probably a bit too extreme for my taste, so let's try the warp bit instead. I'm not too fond of that, to be honest. I'm going to stick with the X position. Change the shape. You can just click on the waveform there and change the shape. So you can play about with the sort of modulation, the second wavetable, and it does have quite a big effect on the first one. So I'm just going to change that one down a bit more, maybe turn the FM up. I'm going to use the second LFO to modulate the cutoff of the filter. So that's the sort of the basic gist of the wavetable. You can play around with all these different parameters, try modulating them, and sort of see where you get. What I like to do is record what I'd call a jam. So I'll record about 10-15 minutes worth of audio of me doing various things live, like I've just shown you, but keep it recording as I'm doing that. And then I'd take that wave file and I'd chop it up, put it in a sampler and use it in that way. So let's just have another little play around and I'll show you some of the other features. So here we go. So there I was just playing with the unison, the harmonic section, and gives it some real stereo Just turn the resonance up on the filter a bit. So that's starting to sound pretty interesting. If I just go into the Four Shakers pack, so there's various effects. So we've got the multi-band distortion, reverbs, choruses, there's an envelope modulation there, and some utilities. Let's have a look at the chorus. So I'll probably just going to put that before the limiter, just mainly for ease than anything else. Just get rid of that. So see what that sounds like. That's pretty interesting. Let's take a look at the reverb. I'm just going to put that between those two. So that's a pretty nice reverb. What I might do is just turn the sustain down and the release on the ADSR. Make that pretty massive, and let's see if we can get some really nice sort of rumbly sort of impact. So that is a pretty nice reverb. So I'm just gonna dial it down a little bit. So let's take a look at the envelope. So I think I'm going to use this to modulate the reverb mix. So I'm going to turn that quite down. I'm going to turn it fully down actually. Drag the pitch. So you drag the gate into the reset on here and it will follow the envelope. If you watch on the mix section here, so it'll follow that envelope. You can have various different presets on it, which is really useful for changing stuff on the fly. Change the rate. Again, that is a really sort of really great block. You can patch that into anything you like. So we'll try it in modulation A on here. Oops. And I'm gonna just go a bit crazy on this, I think. So do the X and Y positions, the warp, and a bit of the scan. So that's pretty interesting. Slow that right down. So I'm just going to the attack. Yeah, so there we go. That's sort of, I hope that sort of helps you piece together the blocks and patch them together. You can just click on there to get rid of the cables. It makes it a bit tidier. So that's how you build a patch from scratch. I've got a couple more just to show you here along the similar sort of lines. So I should mention as well, there's various different wavetables on here. You can even drag your own in. So that's another patch, very similar to the one I've just shown you. This is another one, but I'm actually using the box verb. This is off their latest offering, the synth pack. Yeah, there it is, which is amazing. There's so much great stuff in there. I'd highly advise checking it out. But this box reverb, I think that's the, yeah, it's also got the polyphonic versions which are in the synth pack, but the basic sort of setup is the same as I've just shown you, so let's have a listen. Yeah, so it might not be as interesting as the sort of the other patches, but what I liked about this one was this hold bit here on the box verb. So you can hit a note and you can click that and it'll hold the reverb tail sort of indefinitely, so you can get some really nice atmospheric sound. So let's check that out. So I thought that was really cool. Try it with some higher pitched ones. Let's have just turn that on and so there we go. I hope that sort of gives you a bit of an insight into blocks for starters, and the great sort of third-party blocks from Toybox Audio. I'll put a link in the description to their website, and I highly advise you go and check them out. There's a free pack which is amazing. It's such a huge sort of pack and it's totally free. So much fun just to be adding that. All the rest are really good value for money as well. So I hope to take you through some of the other packs that they do, but the wavetable sort of block was where I started to really get excited with Reaktor Blocks, and that sort of kick-started it. So that's where I wanted to start. So keep checking back. I'll try and do some more videos on Reaktor Blocks and focus on the other packs from Toybox Audio. So go and check them out. Cheers.